The following podcast is an enticing media production.
Where the Nell have you been? Join us for conversation about life, business, and everything in between. Welcome to What the Nell, where we've got stories to tell. Here's your host, Nell Tice.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of the What the Nell podcast, the EcoPreneur's Edge edition. I have an amazing co-host, and I also have an amazing guest with us today. First of all, happy St. Patrick's Day to you both. One of us is accommodating that, and the rest of us are not. However, when this is released, it will not be St. Patrick's Day, so I feel vindicated. But first, I want to say, Mikee, welcome back as my co-host for this awesome series that we're doing.
Thank you, Nell. I appreciate it. It's so good to be here. Good day, everyone. For those who I haven't friended yet, I am Mikee with two E's. I'm also known as Metro Mikee on all social media platforms. The two E's in my name stand for EcoPreneur's Edge. No, I'm just kidding. I've used that joke before. But if this is your first
you can
episode,
keep telling it. It's fine.
I'm going to. But so the two E's in my name stand for the environment and everyone. Those are the two things that I care about most. And I love being here in season 2 of our EcoPreneur's Edge edition. Because I feel called to share my knowledge and expertise on environmental sustainability as well as business sustainability. So we have done a great job fostering a cool community of entrepreneurs and people just interested in saving the planet or saving their own personal business life. And today I felt compelled to share one of my trusted advisors and a great friend of mine, Fred Faylona, who has had many amazing conversations and guided me in my own personal mission of financial sustainability. And I know that we talked about that in season 1. So if you haven't heard that episode, go back and listen to our How to Plan for Retirement episode, because that's a long-term sustainability option. But today, that it is St. Patrick's Day, like you said, Nell, which is about 1 month before tax time here in the US. So we wanted to just go through and talk generally about what financial sustainability could or should mean to our listeners. And I couldn't think of any better guest to have on today than Fred Faylona. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Fred.
All right. Well, thank you, Mikee, for having me here. And Nell, great to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Mikee, say in the U.S. Nell, are you not in the U.S. or are you in the U.S.?
I am in the U.S.
Yes, we are in the U.S.
All of us are. Okay, because yes, tax time is about maybe a day, a month, and less than a day away. Less than a month away, from now on, from today. So it is a very opportune topic. Actually, any day could be St. Patrick's Day. Any day could be Financial Sustainability Day, because every day should be actually. But yes, so my name is Fred Faylona. I'm a financial advisor. It's one of the things that I do. People ask me, Fred, what do you do? Depends on the entire day. But I'd like to say that finances is my passion. I'm also a technology guru on a daily basis. I take care of data platforms. So as you can tell, data and finances, they kind of go well together, because we have to, the devil is in the details, as they say. And also, my hobby is public service. So I'm actually an elected official in my township. And for all the time, actually, I got elected before after I met Mikee. So for the last 8 years or so that I've met Mikee, we have had a ton of great conversations about life, finances, entrepreneurship, governance, and everything in between. So it's great to be here. Thank you for having me. And I hope that I can provide some nuggets to your listeners.
Absolutely. I'm really excited. And I know, this episode will come out past tax time, but so I have a question that I've been wondering for so long, because I've heard so many things about this. Is it is it true that most financial professionals, financial advisors, are not affluent in tax education or information? What are your thoughts around that? Is that true? Have I heard some bad information?
So the thing about being a professional, normally us professionals, we have like specific niche that we serve, and we are trained, licensed, all those different stuff. But really, as a financial advisor, I can be a tax advisor if I want to, but that requires additional studies and
I
certification.
see.
I can also provide legal service if I'm an attorney, but I'm neither of those. So, as a pure financial advisor, I'll tell people I know enough, or I know what I need to know in terms of taxes to provide you and my clients, my friends, and the public
Mhm.
good financial advice. But I will always caveat it with always consult with your accountant
Mm,
and your tax attorney, because I know the rules of finances, but as with many things in life, each one's situation is different. So what I provide, depending on what I know about you, is what I evaluate to be true. But always talk to your accountant, and your tax advisor
got it.
every single time.
Love it.
That was so good. And just for somebody who may be starting their journey in financial sustainability, or somebody who,
Mhm.
hasn't had the best experience or best guidance, and maybe getting, on in age in their career, what is just a good general blanket tip for somebody who may not know the things that we all know to get started in financial sustainability?
Cool. Well, great question. Finances and sustainability, two different things that are not necessarily inclusive, but they should not be mutually exclusive, for one.
Mm,
So, let's talk about financial education. It is really a great misfortune, even in the day of the internet, right? That we don't really get formal financial education. Many
agree.
people still don't know how to balance checkbooks, which is a shame, right? Many people don't know that there are a lot of tax advantage financial vehicles out there. Whether you're a pure employee, you're an entrepreneur, there are many things in between that take advantage. So, the very first thing that I would say, if you want to be financially sustainable, or if you want to have a solid finances, get financial educated. And many of us out there are actually, we offer services for free.
Oh, interesting.
Many of us. So not everyone charges 1%. There are many who do, but not everyone do that. So if you know somebody who has a trusted financial advisor, ask,
Mhm.
because hey, at the end of the day too, as a consumer, you'd also want to interview the person who you will trust, who you will entrust with your finances. And yeah, some of them charges money for that, but there are some who are like, hey, let's have a cup of coffee. I'll buy you coffee. Tell me what you can do for me. Just like, do people charge for job interviews? Probably not, right? No, that's number one. So get educated. There are a lot of people out there even in your circle that you don't know, because like I'm a fiduciary. I am licensed by the state, by the federal government. So there are only certain things that I can discuss publicly,
Sure.
privacy and all those different stuff, because we have to be careful about saying, oh, I made my client this much money.
Hmm. Right.
It could become a Ponzi scheme, right? So to speak, right? So no, we don't do that. That's why, Mikey, you know this. I never say, this is my client. No, 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 none of that. I will dispense some advice every now and then, number one. So get a financial advisor if you can. It could also be your bank, by the way. You already bet, they could offer you something. But again, as a consumer, you have the right to shop around. Do shop around. Ask two to three people, right?
Yeah,
Number one. Number
absolutely.
two, financial stability really is. What do you do now? If I may ask you, when you get your paycheck or your, I don't know, returns from your business, what do you do first with the money? It lands in your bank account. let's say when you were starting, let's say, let's narrow that. When you were starting in your career as a professional, what do you do? What did you do with your paycheck?
Oh gosh, with my paycheck,
Yeah.
we would split up what goes into savings
Okay.
and what goes into an account that we needed to, a checking account to use to live, to pay bills, to buy food and things like that. So we would automatically split it.
Congratulations. You're in the maybe 0.5% of the upper echelon of people who probably do that.
Really?
Because most people, what they do when they get a paycheck, they pay the bills.
Oh, okay.
So the very first concept in to be financially stable is pay yourself first, and that's what exactly you're doing. You divide it. Look, okay, I get paid. My take home pay is $5,000. I decided I will pay myself 20% first before everyone else. Yes, people's situations are different. Some people have more debt than others. Some people have more bills than others. Many people don't have enough to pay for the bills. It's a reality.
Sure.
But if we just do that, when will it end, right?
It's a
So the
vicious cycle.
idea is pay yourself first. So say 20%. So what we do is like 10 to 20%. Decide whatever it is. And now that 20% of the pay yourself budget, when you get your paycheck, is what you will do to protect yourself. Protect is to put money for your retirement, your emergency savings, even life insurance, because unless you have $500,000 lying around, something goes wrong, what do you need? Some sort of insurance. So that goes into that pay yourself first budget. Now the rest, the 80%, is what you use for other things, right? Now, Fred, what if I have 105% of my take-home pay to pay for all my bills? Well, then that's a time you really have to find a good time in your weekend, gather all the bills, gather all your credit card statements, gather all the receipts that you've had for the last month or several months, and really, classify stuff. How much am I paying for this, for that? Is this a necessity? Is this a luxury? All those things. Because only then, that you can get out of that situation like paycheck to paycheck, as we say. So you have to know what you're spending, where you're spending them on, and if every single one of them is necessary. Because there are always options, right? There are always options. Like, no, I only will buy from the store. Really? I don't know. Maybe, like I say, big box store like Walmart or actually even Sam's Club or Costco. They have great products, but they're not necessarily the best price. Maybe you can find similar items, maybe even better at a lower price at your Trader Joe's. Maybe Aldi, right? Maybe your local grocer. So you have to be a bit more involved in deciding who you buy from, what you buy, when you buy them, and why. So once you put everything together in a budget, then you can say, okay, this has to go. I can keep this. I don't have a choice. Blah blah blah. And something like, okay, maybe I can cut these things, right? Maybe I have some gnome in my electric system, right? That's consuming all this electricity, right? So all those things. Oh, by the way, in terms of that, because I just did this last month, I look at my electrical rates, and I'm shopping around.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because like, hey, I can save 5 cents per kilowatt here. Sure. So three things. There are like probably 1,000 things, but no, people will never ever remember the 1,000 things. 3 things. Get financially educated with a financial advisor, preferably. Pay yourself first, and then do your budget and stick to it, please.
Oh,
It's so easy to start, but
yeah.
the hardest thing is to keep at it.
Yeah.
Month in, month out.
Yeah. The consistency is key with anything, everything, honestly. You can implement those things, but if you're not maintaining them, you don't have you're not giving yourself the full ability or the full chance to be successful in your goals.
Exactly.
Oh, I love those.
Man, that brought up so many things. So number one, it's funny you bring up energy because we recorded, it might be out by the time this one airs, but we recorded an episode on energy, sustainable and other, and how to procure it. And we were talking about energy suppliers and how that can be a great way to make your finances sustainable, as well as maybe your household energy use sustainable. So great point there.
Mhm.
I think that me having gone through all the crazy things, because I did not start as well as Nell, getting my paychecks and maybe spending frivolously and not investing in myself and
Now,
my
look, I'm
future.
not saying that I didn't ever do that. There was a time in my life when I worked at a restaurant and everything was just as is. But I never even thought about it. It fortunately came naturally for me, but that doesn't happen
Mhm.
for everybody.
Nope.
Sounds like
I'm telling you, with the hundreds of people, maybe even thousands of people I met since, actually thousands, because there was a time that I was like meeting people day in, day out, when I was starting. People just giving up. So this is my lot in life, and I can't do anything about it. Yep, you're on.
Yeah, and so through my journey, it looks a little different, maybe than yours, Nell, and maybe yours, Fred, because I, made not huge financial mistakes when I was in post high school, before I got into my career, young adulthood. But like they
Mhm.
were not so bad that I couldn't come back from them, So as I got into my career, I went to beauty
Mhm.
school at 22. I opened my first salon at 25. Those things kind of forced me to look
Mhm.
at my own personal finances the way I kind of looked at it in my business
Mhm.
finances. So,
Mhm.
having a P&L sheet, which for those who don't know is a profit and loss statement,
Mhm.
for my business, really
Yeah.
helped
Yeah.
me take control of my personal bank account.
Mhm.
The same thing. So, you have your expenses, your cost of goods,
Yep.
your, miscellaneous, if you will, and then
Mhm.
everything left over could be profit. And that profit is really what drives our financial sustainability. Like as Nell said, saving that 10 to 20%, and Fred said investing in, life insurance or retirement funds, stocks,
Mhm.
bonds, real estate, like that profit. And I just gave a talk at the beauty school not too long ago, kind of explaining the different levels of like revenue versus income versus earnings. And
Hmm.
like earnings are what we take home. Like that's how we live. That's the things
Yeah.
that we can
Mhm.
do to make our life sustainable financially.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But something that you mentioned about people's lot in life that I really wanted to bring up, is yes, even though I made mistakes,
Mhm.
I sat down, I got disciplined, I utilized
Mhm.
consistency, and I kind of got out of there. But like, maybe this is a little off the wall, but I kind of want to talk about debt because people,
Mhm.
I don't know, I just feel personally like debt today is almost like a prison. And
Mm.
because I have gotten to the point where like I don't carry credit card debt, I
Mhm.
don't usually invest in things that would make me pay them interest over time. If anything, I
Mhm.
want interest,
Mhm.
compounded,
Mhm. Mhm.
over the time of whatever I invested in. What would you tell to somebody who may be struggling with debt, or reasons why not to take on bad debt?
Mm.
Yeah, sure. So, thank you for reminding me about the big D debt, right? So that's actually number four on my list because it naturally follows with a budget because once you look at your credit card statement, because I don't know, and I need to know this, by the way, I forgot to look it up. How what percentage of Americans carry balances on their credit cards? But I bet it's a lot, right? Not majority, probably almost everyone. So once you get your financial your credit card statements, because I've heard this so many times. people don't actually review them because they're afraid to see the interest paid this month and this year. And imagine this going on year on year, that people never get out of that, right? And yet, even though credit card companies, the financial industry, the banking industry, oh, you're taking so much money from us with all this. Well, many of them also offer people options how to be not in that. Of course, it's in their best interest to pay for them to be paid interest every month, but they also want good customers who can pay the debt. Okay, so anyway, once you get while you're doing the budget, once you get the statement and put them in a different sheet with the interest rate and the minimum, and then what the normal what is a normal payment. And in every credit card statement, there is like, if you pay the minimum, this is how long it'll take it to pay it off, right? Now, as a financial advisor, I use a tool called debt stacking. So we have a software for this. So what we do is we just input all the debts, mortgages, which are fixed rate debts, or the revolving credit, the credit cards. There are even credit cards that are zero interest, promotional rate, and all this different stuff. And then the software will tell us, okay, this is how you will pay it off. So the assumption is, let's say you owe $50,000 and your debt servicing is $2,000 a month. So the software will tell us, okay, if you continue paying the minimum or whatever you're paying, it'll tell you you'll get paid in 14 years. But if you do the debt stacking, you need to say you pay off, it'll calculate which one should be paid first, usually the highest interest, and with some payment, right, like that. So you have a $2,000 debt servicing budget every month. So that's part of your budget now, right? But you will also not use them. So once you pay off a credit card, you will also not use them. You don't cut them, by the way, because cutting a credit card will bring down your credit score. Never do that. Just lock them. Now, actually, you can cut them, but don't cancel it. Okay? Or just lock them up, I don't know, 20 padlocks, So just for emergency. So that once it's paid off, then let's say you're paying one card $50 a month and you have a balance of $500. Once that gets paid off, the 50 is added to the next card, and so on and so forth until everything's paid. So now you go back to, you have a plan to pay, then you have to have the discipline of one, pay as you are supposed to, like $2,000 is you make that sacred. $2,000 is for this example, is the debt servicing budget. You will use that until everything is paid off. You'll never touch that amount. You also not touch any of the credit cards that have been paid. Of course, life happens. We live. You charge. It's fine. For as long as you don't treat it like a bank account. So the other side of so how do you not use a credit card? How do you not increase the balance? So what you do, and I've had so many conversations with them, Mikey, that you can actually make the bank pay you. And that probably could be for another conversation, right? Because there are a lot of things there. I kind of hacked that too. So it's one of my hobby, hacking the financial system to pay me instead of me paying them. If you have to use a credit card because say you want to earn points, go do that and then pay it right away. So basically you'll be on a cash expense method. Even if you still use your credit cards because you want to get the rewards and all this stuff, you can do that. It's doable because I've done it, and many people are doing that. So that's how do you really handle debt? It's ugly, but it's a necessary evil in our modern lives. How do you buy a house? Do you have $1 million to buy a good house? Lying around? Maybe most of us don't. Some people do, not us. But then again, even if you do, what's the interest rate now, Mikey? 8% maybe? 7%?
6-7 for residential, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So if you have $1 million that charges 7% up a year for the loan, right? but you can invest that, let's say 80% of that, because you still have to do that 20% down payment. Invest 80% somewhere else that can earn you 15%, 20%. Why would you forgo that? So that is not that big, ugly thing that we should be afraid of. Used correctly, it helps us. It helps us get ahead, because it's what we call in the financial circles leverage. You leverage your resources to get something of better value than what you already have.
That is so good. And
Right?
in my experience, and I love talking about debt because I find that it's a common problem with the people who I've coached personally.
Mm-hmm.
I love coaching about almost everything else, but time and time again, everyone's like, Mikey, I need your know-how because my
Mm-hmm.
finances are way out of order. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, well, I run a business. I've never taken on debt to open any of my businesses. I have self-funded everything, which in turn has helped me realize what a prison my clients are living in, because they take on insurmountable debt and then they don't know how to manage it properly, and then it spirals out of control. So I love talking about this because the freedom and flexibility I have for only having a mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
I did take on debt to me that is good for my solar panels. And as Nell and I have talked about in a previous episode, it was there was a financial incentive as well
Mm-hmm.
as an environmental incentive. And then
Mm-hmm.
I paid half in cash for my hybrid
Mm-hmm.
vehicle. So my car payment is super affordable.
Mm-hmm.
I could have paid it all in cash, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
but I like knowing that I don't have to dip into my emergency fund
Sure.
or
Mm-hmm.
my rainy day fund. And I have an emergency fund for home. I have an emergency fund for my salon. I have an
Mm-hmm.
emergency fund for my dance studio. So to me, the things that make me financially sustainable
Mm-hmm.
give me like freedom and flexibility. They allow me
Mm-hmm.
to use my imagination. Because my clients always just feel so boxed in. They're like, I
Mm-hmm.
can't have fun when I go out to dinner. I mean, look, you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be going out to dinner. Use that to pay off your credit card. But it's like, I'll be sitting at home reading a book and I can't pay attention because this monster is on my shoulder. So when I'm talking about like finances, I always love to get into debt when it can be good, but I didn't
Uh-huh.
realize the ways to leverage or
Uh-huh.
hack the
Uh-huh.
system
Uh-huh.
until I was free of all the things that I didn't need in my life anyway. Mortgage, good. Solar panels, good. Minimal car payment, good. Everything else goes into my retirement fund. Or,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I love investing in my businesses too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is the thing as a business owner. That's really
Yeah.
because when you were talking about paying yourself first and that while that works, when I was receiving a paycheck and then the entrepreneurship mentality, you're like, well, I
Yeah.
can't pay myself first. I have to put this back in my business. And yeah, I mean, and much like Mikey, that freedom that you
Mm-hmm.
now have, it allows you to think, okay, so I have space now to think about how can I make this money work for me and where I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
put things, and you have freedom of choice and freedom to think creatively about how you
Mm-hmm.
can continue to make progress in making it work for you. Yeah, this is all such amazing information, and I really hope that people will take the advice and get a financial advisor,
Mm-hmm.
pay yourself first, and stay consistent. But is there anything else that we can offer to listeners before we wrap everything up? What is one tip that if you could tell anybody anything about finances, what would you say to them?
One of my business mentors um, uh, told me 5 years ago. At that time, I was like, I want to get a Tesla, but it's so expensive, blah, 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 and all those stuff. I ended up getting an EV in 2021. But what he told me was, Fred, first, you have to really fix your relationship with money. Because money, what do we say, is the root of all evil? Yes, if you let it. Money gives us options. So I would advise everyone, get your relationship with money situated real fast, like yesterday. right? It's not necessarily, it does not cure cancer. It does not bring world peace, but it does gives us options. So fix your relationship with money, get that done, and then do just like sorry, you said just one, but I need to add one more.
Oh, I love a bonus tip.
One after that, then determine what it is that will make you happy, and then go for it, because you can have a glass of wine and also save for your retirement or for your dream house. It's not supposed to be mutually exclusive, you know. Why? How do you get to where you want to be when you're unhappy? You can only get there when you're happy, right? So to me, money plus really knowing what makes you happy will actually get you to where you should be.
That's so beautifully said. Thank you. And it just came to me. St. Patrick's Day, green. We're talking about the greenest thing there is. Money.
Yeah.
Look, we were all wearing green anyway.
Exactly.
But no,
yes,
I feel called right now, because something that stuck with me that I just want to share with everyone, and it's going to be my Mikey drop moment. Even if people even if it's not received that way. Our income is our single greatest financial sustainability tool.
Mm-hmm.
So going out, and I know in the climate of 2025, when we're recording this, we went through a crazy, tumultuous last 5 years. The markets have changed and shifted, not the financial, but the employment market has changed and shifted. Our income is what is going to give us freedom. And that means we need to get up, we need to go out, we need to work. If that's not covering it, we need to get a second job. We need to find that work ethic and discipline and dedication, because even if we're unhappy doing our Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, or third shift at the hospital, 7 or 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., those 40 hours a week are going to be what we can set aside 10% and build a hobby, build a side hustle, build the life of it's going to allow us to invest in, Zoom or Riverside or whatever. So our income, even if we hate our job, stay there. Ride it out. Be in it for the long haul, because there's going to come a time when even through the burnout, you're just going to get so sick of being sick that you're going to do something and change it. But if you don't have a savings, if you don't have a dependable income, we're never going to get out of that cycle. So, boom, Mikey drop.
There you go. That's it. I love it. I love it. So, Fred, thank you for bestowing all of us with your expertise this morning. How can people find you, connect with you, and get in touch with you?
Thank you, Nell and Mikey. I was just looking at the screen here. So, Mikey, you have at Metro Mikey. That's very, very smart, because me, I'm very easy to find too. Although my last name is not American, so kind of harder, but at Fred Faylona. So I'm on all the platforms, Facebook and Instagram. That's FredFaylona. So it's the same. It's my Fred and then my last name Faylona. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, X. Yeah, or give me a call, 717-364-9593.
Awesome.
Also, my email is easy, fred@faylona.com.
Oh, it doesn't get any easier than that.
No, I'm obsessed with my name, so.
This has been an awesome episode. So thank you, both of you, for contributing to the value that I know we have brought to listeners and viewers today. Speaking of viewers, if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends. Anybody that needs to hear this message, send it right over. And if you're listening on your favorite audio platform, don't forget to leave us a review. That is how we grow here at the What the Nell podcast, the EcoPreneur's Edge edition. So thank you to both of you. Thank you to all of you listening and watching. And as always, I will catch you on the next one.
To learn more about how to tell your story, connect with Nell at enticingmedia.com. That's ENTICEING media.com. Thanks for listening to the What the Nell podcast.